gonna give you a little insight into my business before I met Natasha. Really wanted to just share my experience because, I mean, I call Natasha my fairy godmother because she has changed my life. She's changed everyone's life that have something to do with me, basically. Before I met Natasha, I've been following her for a few years. But I set up my business just after COVID. Everything was going really, really well. And I thought I had control until I became VAT registered. I started to grow bigger, so I started to employ more staff. And before I knew it, I had no control over my staff. I had no idea why I was charging, what I was charging with treatments. We became VAT registered. I was making a loss on a monthly basis, always looking for the next new thing, thinking, right, if I get a new treatment or if I get the next big machine and offer these new things, then my business is going to thrive again. But actually all I was doing was just losing more and more money. So it got to January this year and I literally had £7,000 pretty much left in my business bank account. I was scared. I generally was panicking, thinking I was actually got to a stage where I asked my mum that if worse came to worse and I couldn't afford to pay my staff, then I'd have to borrow money from my mum to pay my staff. I was panicking. I kept seeing Natasha pop up on my Facebook and thought, do you know what? I either take that risk and accept that I do need help, or I'm going to lose my business within the next 6 months. I reached out to Natasha, and from that first phone call, oh God, it makes me emotional just thinking about it. That first phone call, I realised I had no control. It was a massive hit for me because I genuinely thought I did. And I realised my staff were walking all over me. I'd lost control of my staff. I'd lost control of my business. I was working 60-hour weeks. I couldn't be at home with my children. My marriage had failed because of that. So I was a single mum to 3 children. It was really tough. So within the first 3 months of being with Natasha, I had changed my business around. It is a lot of work, but I was prepared because I needed to make some changes. We had some changes within the team and it made such a difference just from one team member leaving. I was able to gain control back of my staff. Yes, I prepared my staff. Natasha supported me the whole way. They knew there was going to be a lot of changes. Yes, they weren't always happy, but Natasha supported me with that. And it was either the case of I gained control back off my staff, or I'm just going to keep being walked over. And I had staff stealing from me. I had staff it was awful. It was awful. But within 3 months, the difference to the bank account, for starters, the profit was incredible. And I've been now able to reduce my hours. So we're 9 months down the line. I've actually carried on being with Natasha because I genuinely don't think I could cope without her. She's just not only changed my life. My staff have never met her, but I've spoken a lot about Natasha and she's changed their lives. My clients' lives. I'm able to be a mum. I work 20 hours a week. I'm able to be a boss. I've still got into my fitness. My mental health is amazing now. I feel I'm back with my ex-husband. I was able to kind of like get my life back, and my staff, their careers have flourished since I've met Natasha, and they are so thankful because they're getting monthly support. Whereas before, I'd speak to them, maybe do a review once every 3 months. There was no structure. There was no structure. And I'm now, I mean, I've got over £40,000 in my business bank account. I'm making 10 grand profit a month, if not more. If I wasn't VAT registered, I'd be making more than that. I'm literally working 20 hours a week. If you're on the fence and you're generally thinking, do you know what, I've got control, I can do this by myself, I can just bring in a new treatment or a new member of staff, it doesn't make a difference. I've tried it all. And as hard as it was to accept the fact that my business was failing, hand on heart, if I did not reach out to Natasha, I would have lost my business. I wouldn't be still being able to be a mum to my kids because I would have still been trying to grasp at that last little thing to make my business turn around. But actually, all that you need is just someone like Natasha. I've never met anyone more knowledgeable. She supports me every step of the way. Anytime I've needed her, I've messaged her at 9-10 o'clock at night before, being like, oh my God, this has happened. She's responded. I get very, very emotional about it, because I generally thought I would never, ever be in a position where I can say I'm working 20 hours a week, but I make 10 grand profit a month. Yeah, it's insane, but it works. I swear by her help. And I'm now doing, I've carried on paying Natasha because I can't do without her. She literally, anytime I need her, she just helps and gives me that support. If you're on the fence, please, if you, I never thought it was possible. And I just thought, oh, you see all these people on Facebook going, oh yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to change your business. If you go to Natasha, it's possible. And I'd never be where I am today without her. And I cannot, like, just honestly, the emotion and just saying like how grateful I am for her to change my life. And I've got a successful business, and yeah, it's amazing. So if you're on the fence and you really, really are not sure, even just a phone call with her will make you realise, as hard as it is, and it is hard to admit, maybe, like, you know, you may not have as much control that you think you did. And that's what I felt like. But wow, the changes I've made, my business is completely different. So thank you, Natasha, for not only changing my life, but for changing my kids' lives, my partner's life, just my staff, my business, everything. Because I just, yeah, I'll be forever grateful. Thank you.